Okay, we are back for another locals interview at the Lake of the Ozarks. I have Emily Kaestner here, who is also, ironically, a real estate agent, and we will talk a little bit about that. But more importantly, as I do with all of these interviews, it's getting to know people who love the lake, spend time at the lake, why they came to the lake, and their recommendations at the lake. So let's start here. You weren't born and raised here. What's your story? Why'd you come to the lake?
Born and raised in St. Louis, and then about almost 5 years ago, my parents retired here, and I saw an opportunity, moved them here and moved here with them. So moved down here and been full-time ever since.
Awesome. So you live here full-time now. Yep. You left St. Louis.
Left St. Louis. I still travel up there for friends and family and still sell up there, but I live and sell primarily here at the lake.
Awesome. How many years have you been coming to the lake?
Oh gosh, over 10.
Okay.
So probably 10, 15 years.
So you're not one of those Lakers who grew up as a kid here, like my kids will be.
Right.
You started coming as an adult,
Yep.
and I assume fell in love, clearly.
Yeah. Yep.
So as for somebody who is not from this area and just watches and enjoys this, maybe wants to consider moving here, maybe wants to consider visiting, what's the reason? Like, what is your reason why you love the Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, I just love everybody's attitudes, honestly, and that's just it. And no matter where you live, where you come from, what you do, everybody's here for the same reason, and that's to enjoy life and enjoy the view and the water and just be happy. So everybody's always in a good mood and having fun, and it makes it a great place to work and live for that reason.
Yeah, because it's like it really is more of a second home community than it is.
It is. It really is. In the last probably 2 years, well, really since COVID, it's shifting into a full-time market, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
It's a great place to live.
So so somebody who might be coming from further potentially away, that is a good point, because it's very laid back here.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many people have been turned on by it.
Yep.
Especially, when you think of laid back, and I'm referring to COVID.
Yeah.
Very laid back.
It was. COVID wasn't a thing.
So good or bad, no matter how you feel about that,
Yeah.
that is kind of the way it is here. But I think for that reason, it's one of the many reasons why it's become so incredibly popular.
I agree.
So what is one thing about the lake that someone who has never been here might not know?
The fact that you can drive by boat and go to breakfast, go to lunch, go to the bar, and come back home.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. A lot of lakes, a lot of comparisons we get is like Table Rock Lake, and that's not really a thing. And also in comparison to Table Rock, you can live right on the lake. So Table Rock's owned by the Army Corps of Reserve, so you can't build within, don't quote me, I don't know exactly how far, but here you build your own personal dock, you have your own private view, you don't have to share with anybody. So I think that's pretty unique.
I love that. And I talk about that a lot as to why I think this lake is arguably one of the most unique lakes in the world.
It really is.
Because most big lakes are core lakes.
Yep.
And core lakes, you cannot privately own property on the lake.
Right.
And so we talk a lot about bars, and I'm going to ask you that question next, but she just brought up a good point. Like there's places that specialize in breakfast. I mean, you can literally go have all 4 or all 3 meals, make it 4 if you're counting drinking, at different places. And you could probably do that for close to a month and never go to the same place.
At least.
That's crazy.
And that's just it. There's a lot of the bigger name bars that almost everyone, if you look up bars at Lake of the Ozarks, they're going to come up. But little bitty places are here and there, and you just don't know about them. But sometimes those are the best ones.
That's really cool. So what is your favorite lake bar? So lakefront bar.
Hands down, Jolly Rogers.
Jolly Rogers.
Yep.
Really?
Sunday brunch. They have all you can drink mimosas and all you can drink Bloody Marys, and then they do a brunch buffet. That's, I believe it's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's amazing. The best food, best atmosphere.
Do you know what mile marker that's on?
It's on the Gravois Arm on the 4 on the Gravois.
That's really cool. I've never been.
I've
never been.
Gravois Arm is
a long ways from where I am, but that's really cool. Okay, so what is your favorite restaurant or bar not on the lake?
Ooh, there's so many. I say my go-to is JB Hooks. Technically, it's still on the lake. They have a beautiful lake view.
Yeah,
but you can't get there by boat.
So when we say on the lake, there are many restaurants with amazing views. Baxter's, JB Hooks, both of them. But if you can't, like Encore, another one, you can't drive your boat up, so we don't consider it a lakefront bar. So why JB Hooks? Because that's like an old school one, and it's right next door to Baxter's, which is my favorite.
Really? I do love Baxter's, but I just love the patio at JB Hooks, and I love that they're happy hour all day Sunday. You get half price appetizers, wine, things like that.
What's your favorite thing on the menu at JB Hooks, your go-to?
Panama wrap.
What is it?
It's a Greek salad and a wrap.
Really? Interesting. And they have all these steaks and lobster and all this stuff, and that's your go-to.
Yep.
Very cool.
I'm simple.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. All right. So the lake has grown dramatically over the last, say, 3 years, as we've kind of touched on. What are you most excited for about the lake's future?
I'll probably bring up again the fact that it's becoming more full-time people. Being here full-time, it's kind of funny as of today. I mean, once people go home, it gets pretty quiet, and we truthfully stay pretty busy in the off-season. So I try to stress that people get involved, get with the Chamber of Commerce's, get on your boards, and just keep in touch. And with that, with all the events that we do, if everyone's coming full-time, we'll get a lot more participation and just everything to grow.
Would you say that of the full-timers, majority of them are more retirees?
Believe it or not, no.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there are a good chunk that are, but within, like I said, I'm on with the young professionals at the lake, and we are just growing like crazy. So there's a lot, there's a shift happening of younger professionals that are coming and really that have grown up here, that are getting into businesses and professions and joining all of the chambers and just getting involved and trying to build the lake more into a full-time community.
I love it. Why do you think that is? Why do you think, I mean, it's obvious why a retiree might move here, but why young professionals?
Well, to be honest, in real estate, my brain directs to that, but you can see that the market and everything's growing. You can see the infrastructure is growing. New businesses are wanting to be here. We're seeing more chain restaurants, things like that, but people just want to start being here. And I think that as a young business owner, people are taking advantage of that. Now's the time to be here.
Opportunity. I love it. Yep. So you brought up the off season or the during the week, right? And so at the time of this recording, it's still summer. At the time of its release, it will be the off season. So what would you say, first of all, because a lot of people just assume Memorial to Labor, which is far from true, right? It's still obviously back to school and stuff like that. But the lake is still hopping through when, would you say?
It just depends, because I'm also big into all the fishing tournaments. So Big Bass Bash is end of October. So we've got fishermen that come down all year round. So
I love it.
I mean, it doesn't really ever, in my eyes, it doesn't really ever stop. But as far as the heavy boat traffic and the tubing and whatnot, once again, it just, if we get a nice day here and there, people come down and go tubing and skiing and
take advantage of it. So what are some off-season things to do around the lake that don't include boating? Boating.
One of my favorites is ice skating at Old Kinderhook.
Oh, yes.
It's the best. And it's outdoor and it's gorgeous, and the lights and the hot chocolate. And that's cool. People don't think about that. They think it's just a golf resort, and they turn the volleyball court into an ice rink, and it's really neat.
That's cool. What's something else?
Oh, gosh. Everything we do. So like I said before, the young professionals, we do a lot of different kind of events. So we do a dodgeball tournament. We're doing cornhole this year in October.
Where at?
At Encore.
Cool.
Yep, on October 7th. So if you guys want to sign up for that, it's open to anybody. But just things like that. We still do, we try to do quarterly socials for the Board of Realtors. And yeah.
So that's a perfect segue, because first of all, this is a really good, which wasn't intentional, but to anyone who's younger, and by younger, I'm just gonna say between teens and 40s. If you're maybe at that point in your life where you're not sure where to take your life and you're looking for a change, there's a lot of potential opportunity here. So let's talk about real estate. So for someone, most people should know this. If you don't know this, the lake has exploded. Home prices have, I would say, probably tripled since COVID.
Correct.
And so I think there's probably some people that are sitting on the fence thinking to themselves, well, I'm going to wait until prices just normalize or come down. What would you say to that?
So I did pull a quick stat just from our MLS here at the lake, and from the average sale price from July of 23 to July of 22, it has gone up. So
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year price difference. So in July of 2022, the average price home was $390,000, and then in 2023, it's $452,000. So
Wow.
if you know anything about the market, you know the rates have significantly gone up in that time frame,
Also.
and the prices have continued to go up.
Yeah.
So it's just growing. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
So I think the way I would articulate that is that if you're waiting, the odds are actually much greater that the home prices are going to continue to go up.
They are. We have more and more people coming. The rates are kind of doing what they're going to do, and then now it's time to do it. It's not going to get any better, I can tell you that. So once the rates do go back down or normalize, if you will, the prices, as you can see, are at least holding and growing.
Yeah. Yeah. So get off your butt and start consider down here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as it relates to lake real estate, there's a lot of options. Obviously, you've got, homes on the lake, you've got condos on the lake, you've got homes off the lake. What can someone expect for those three different, maybe on an average price? And obviously the size of the home and all that kind of stuff matters, but what can someone expect to pay for someone who may not be a millionaire and wants a home on the lake? What is something that's potentially viable? And we're sitting right now in a listing that's 1.8 million right here. I mean, you can see this view. This is incredible, but this is outside of most people's price points. So what's something that's possible that would be a home on the lake price point?
So lakefront home, that would be, in my opinion, move-in ready, and needs a little bit of work, but just making it your own, you're probably looking around $400,000, $450,000.
Okay.
You could get something pretty nice. The sweet spot, in all honesty, for a lakefront home that's going to cover all your bases, it's going to be furnished, it's going to be, manicured, $500,000 to $700,000.
Okay, that's good to know.
Is good price.
That's good. What about a condo?
Pretty high. They're pretty high. I mean, you're not getting a condo for under $200,000. That's more than a bedroom and a bathroom.
Got it. So a 2 or 3 bedroom is going to probably run you threes and up from there. Yep. Okay, cool. And then now, what if somebody says, you know what, I want to be at the lake, but I don't need to be on the lake? Yep. What would that look like? So
that's a great option. It's actually something, once again, with the younger groups that are coming in that grew up here or have been coming here, and myself included, we have family and friends that have the lakefront beautiful homes. So I just want to live where I work, which is in the middle of town. So there's public boat ramps, there's public beach accesses, there's all these different options. There's marinas. So you can live in town, work, and do what you do on the daily basis, and then get to your boat and a 10-minute drive, go enjoy the lake, and then go back home. So you don't necessarily have to live on the lake to enjoy the lake.
That's one of the things about the Lake of the Ozarks is even when you're not on the lake, because of the design of the lake and its snake nature, you're basically close everywhere. Pretty much anywhere. Yeah.
You'll be going down the road in the middle of nowhere and see the lake.
Yeah.
Not even
didn't realize it was there. Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. So, so if somebody wants to connect with you, what is the best place to get in touch with you?
Well, I would say email or text is the quickest, or a phone call.
Awesome. Well, what about on social media? If somebody wants to connect with you and friend you, follow you, where's the best place to do so?
I do a lot of my marketing on Facebook.
Okay.
So Emily, your RE agent, and then on TikTok.
Awesome.
I try to be creative on TikTok.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much. This has been fun. I think you just opened up a whole new door for people, which is exciting because I want to continue to see the growth. Now, a lot of people that follow and watch, maybe you're diehard old school Lakers and they're like, stop. Well, it's like anything. Like technology is not stopping. Social media is not stopping. AI is not stopping. Growth in this market is not stopping. So embrace it or go find another lake.
Pretty well. Thank you.